So we've rigged our sail and we want to tune it a little bit to get the most out of it. Now, if we followed the guidelines and everything correctly, there should be a few key things that will already be happening with our sail. So let's take a look at those and then come back to what we're going to change. So looking at the top of our sail, specifically the back edge, the leech, we should have some floppiness to it that comes across at least about a quarter to halfway of the top panel. That should be something that automatically happens when we set our sail to the specifications on it. We should also find that the battens above and below the boom overlap the mast. So taking a closer look, we should find that the batten end is about 1/2 to 3/4 overlapping the mast, meaning that when we tack or jibe, they actually need to rotate round the mast. Now looking at the belly of the sail, we shouldn't have so much tension on the outhaul that the sail is completely flat. We should be able to press down at the back end and touch the boom. If we find we can't do that, we've got way too much outhaul on. So we've done a few of those key checks on our sail. So to recap, we want the leech to have some flop in it. We want the battens above and below the boom to overlap the mast. We also want enough belly in the sail so that when we push down from the clew, it can touch the boom. We're going to have a look at our downhaul, our outhaul, and our boom height and what they do and when we might change them. Let's have a look at the downhaul first. The downhaul controls the back edge of our sail. Now at the moment we've got a little bit of downhaul on and we've got a little bit of floppiness. The more downhaul we pull on, the further down the back edge the floppiness goes and the further in it goes. As a general rule, we want at least about 1/2 of the top panel to fall away. If it's windier, we probably want to pull on more downhaul to give us a floppier leech. If it was lighter winds, we'd probably have something that looks a little bit like this, where there's not too much downhaul on. Let's take a look at that in a bit more detail from a few different angles. So we've had a look at what the downhaul does to the back edge of the sail, but it actually also changes something here very subtly. The more downhaul we put on, the further the battens move away from the mast. The less downhaul we put on, the further in they come, causing more of an overlap. So in essence, the more downhaul we put on, we actually flatten off the sail ever so slightly. The less downhaul we put on, the bigger the belly we're creating. This might affect how much outhaul we put on as well. Let's have a look at when we apply the downhaul and what the battens do. So let's have a look at the outhaul. So the outhaul is a quick adjustment we can make on the water. We don't want to pull too much on so the sail is super flat. Otherwise the sail will feel twitchy and a bit on and off. We want a nice, comfortable, continuous power delivery in the sail. So sometimes we will potentially be sailing with almost no outhaul. So the sail is touching the boom. If, for instance, we're slightly overpowered and we want to take some of that away, we can pull about 1 centimetre of outhaul on, flattening off the sail just a little bit. We're still able, with a bit of pressure, to touch the boom of the sail. What we don't want is to put on so much outhaul that we can't touch the boom and that there is no belly in the sail. So we're going to have a look at boom height. Now, boom height is really important because it actually has an impact on our stance when we're windsurfing. If we're overpowered, we might drop the boom a little bit lower to give us more control. If we're underpowered, we might bring the boom up to power us up a little bit more. Generally, our boom should be between our chest and our chin. Now, if we change the boom height, it actually alters the belly in the sail and how much tension there is on the outhaul. When I move the boom, watch this corner here and how much tension's on the outhaul rope and also the belly of the sail. So I'm going to move my boom up. And what you will have noticed is that there's way more belly in the sail. The sail's touching the boom and there's barely any tension in the outhaul rope. Now if I drop the boom down, you'll find that there's more tension in the sail and the outhaul, and there's slightly less belly. So we need to be careful if we're changing our boom height. We actually also probably need to change the outhaul. So to recap, we've had a look at the 3 key ways of tuning our sail. We've had a look at downhaul, the outhaul, and our boom height and what they can do. Generally, if it's windier, we want more downhaul and maybe a touch more outhaul. If it's not as windy, we maybe want a little less downhaul, less outhaul, and we maybe want to raise the boom up. The best thing for you to do is to go out in a variety of conditions that you're comfortable in and try tuning your sail and how it feels. Remember, it might mean deviating from a couple of these numbers on here. That's fine. These are just guidelines. All that's left now is to go get frothing on windsurfing.